Hi, today I'm going to be talking to you about the Tihash Trecena, and this is a Trecena that we might associate with healing, we might associate with cutting ourselves free from something or someone or a situation or something like that, because basically it's the beginning of the healing process. Now, this healing process might take us from one Tihash all the way into the next Trecena, which will then take us to 8 Tihash for the completion of it. But here's where we begin. Here's where we begin to cut ourselves free. We begin to understand how we can use our own power, our own blade, as it were, our own discernment to free ourselves from anything which might be causing an imbalance in our lives. Now, an imbalance will probably manifest as an illness, as a sickness, as a disease. And this is what we can see when we employ the obsidian blade to heal. Now, when we talk about surgery, when we think about surgery, usually it's kind of like it's a last ditch thing, right? We don't necessarily want to have to go for surgery, and we know that it's not necessarily going to be pain free either. The making those cuts is something which might cause us a bit of pain. But at the same time, we can't move forward and we can't heal unless we make them. And so it's a necessary thing. Tiash can be seen as purification. It can be seen as sculpting, to bring out from the mundane the divine, to bring out the truth by cutting through that which is untruth, as it were. And so you may find that in Distracena there's a lot of things come up where you're now able to use your discernment and your perception to really see through to what is required, what is necessary. You can come to the point about it, right? So it is going to be healing, but it might also be a little bit of a ride to get there. Okay, so we're going to begin with one Tihash, the beginning of the healing process. Now we have to start somewhere. Sometimes it might be using our discernment to identify what needs to be cut away so that we can go through the rest of the process through to 8 Tihash to complete the healing. It might also be something to do with the beginning of bringing ourselves, our environment, our job, our relationship, or whatever it might be, to a greater degree of perfection, because that, for me, is one of the things that we really see with Tihash. If we see Tihash as the sculptor, or we see Tihash as the editor, well, they're cutting away the superfluous to bring out the divine, to bring out the pure essence. And Tihash gives us the opportunity to begin that on one Tihash. So it's a great day for using your discernment to see what can be cut away, to see what can be left behind, to see how your healing might start, and to see how your healing might progress as you carefully use that blade to cut away the things which are holding you back, the things which are holding you down, the things which are really not serving you. From one Tihash, we're then going to two Kawok. So Kawok, the birth process, Kawok, the rain, the storm. Once again, this is also seen as an Aq'ab'al of healing, particularly female healing. And with this too, we can see that there's a duality to it. Okay? So it might be about making choice. Like, because Kawok can be very associated with the compassionate form of healing. And so it's kind of like it's our choice to use our compassion within this healing process. But also, the Kawok energy is very strongly about washing away that which has been cut by Tihash. And so there's this choice about, okay, again, what to keep, what to let go of, what can be healed, and maybe what needs to be released back to the waters, back to the flow. Kawok is all about bringing new life, and this could be very much a choice day, a decision day as to what is going to bring you into your new life, what's going to take you forward on your birthing process, and also seeing very clearly what might be holding you back, but also what you may not be ready to release, what you may have to hang on to for a while. But this is really this choice. Okay, what do you want to grow and how fast do you want to grow it? Because that's what Kawok is going to ask you. From two Kawok, we're then going to go into three Ajpu. So Ajpu, the journey to the divine. Ajpu is looking for the hero, looking for the higher self, the divine aspect. And here we see it combined with the number 3, which can be very much to do with the home. It can do with the inner work. Now, as we go through this, I've already talked about discernment and choices and that. But what we're going to see here with 3 Ajpu is very much an introspective day about what you hold holy within yourself. Because, of course, this is going to be a great guide for what you want to cut away. It's like, right, okay, maybe it's a time to reevaluate what you're holding in your home, what you're holding within yourself, and saying, right, okay, is that taking me to my highest possibilities? Is it helping me to move forward and embrace the divine, or is it something that's maybe holding me back? It's a great day, maybe for some time in the house, some introspection in that way, to really look into those things, go within and ask yourself, where can I find the divine within me? And what do I need to cut away to take me closer to it? From 3 Aq'ab'al, we're then going to go to 4 Imox. So Imox, the dream, Imox, the lake, the water, Imox, that which comes to us through our dreams, but also it can represent our dreams themselves. And here we see it with the number 4, representing the material plane of existence, representing the physical. So this might be a great day to be kind of like working on manifesting your dreams into real life. We've all got ideas, we've got dreams, stuff that we want to work towards and all that kind of thing. This is a great day to kind of like get them out into the open a bit and say, right, okay, how can I ask the spirit of the lake or the spirit of the waters to help me to understand how to manifest my dreams into the material plane of existence? Because we want to take them from out there and in here and put them out on the table, put them out in our surroundings, bring them into the physical. And so 4 Imox gives us the ability and the opportunity to do that. From 4 Imox, we then go into 5 Ik. So Ik, communication. 5, work. Okay, so certainly working on your communication might be a good thing on this day, using that precision of Tijax. In this Tijax Trecena, it's like time for some precise words. Now, those precise words might also require some work to get them out. Because, sometimes in this Tijax Trecena, there might be some words that maybe you're not so sure whether you should be speaking, or maybe you've got some resistance to them because, once those words are out, then it's kind of like, let the genie out the bottle, as it were, or maybe it's something which is, they can't be taken back, but maybe they're also something that needs to be said in order to allow this release to happen and in order to allow this healing to happen. But with the 5 Ik, it's suggesting you're going to have to put some effort into it, some work into it. The words will be right when they come out, I'm sure, but they might not just trip off the tongue quite so easily. So you've got to put your energy, your work into it. And it's working on our communication. And yeah, so sometimes, as I say, they're the conversations we don't necessarily want to have, but we know that we need to have in order to have our progression, in order to heal. From 5 Ik, we're then going into 6 Aq'ab'al. So Aq'ab'al, the dawn and the dusk, the twilight. And the number 6 can represent family, but it's also representing stability, the number of ultimate stability. And so what we see here, well, Aq'ab'al also represents new concepts. It's like the conception of the new day begins in the twilight. And so if we see this as representing new concepts, and we see this as bringing them into the ultimate stability, this is a great day to kind of get cracking on things, to get things out into the world. The new concepts that you might have, that you might be working on, well, at some point we've got to kind of like move them forward. We've got to bring light into that. That comes with the number 6, the stability. We can also see the number 6 as representing family. So this might be new concepts within your family. Maybe that's where the healing has to occur. Maybe that the words that you utter on 5 Ik bring about a new way of being within the family. But they're also something which might bring a new concept to light, but in a stable way. So 6 Aq'ab'al is a great day to be moving forward with your plan. From 6 Aq'ab'al, we're then going to go into 7 Cat. Now 7 Cat, very, very interesting day. Cat representing the bundle, representing the net, representing the ability to catch and also the ability to release. And so what we see with it, with the number seven being endings. And so a lot of people will associate cat with the burden. And so this is kind of like, this could be the day to finally release the burden. Of course, this occurs at the peak of the Tihash Trecena, as it were, because it's cutting yourself free from what's been holding you back. It can also be, this is making space in your net. Once you've cut yourself free, then you've got more opportunity to bring in what you need to bring in for your healing. And so it's no sort of surprise to see the calendar working in this way, to see them related in this way, that this is a great day again for going through your bag, whether it's a clothing swap or a yard sale or a general tidy up, going through those old places and working out what you want to hold on to, what you want to release, what you want to multiply in your bag, and what no longer needs to be there. And so seven cat, again, seven can be very much about decisions, and those decisions being right on the top of the pyramid, they might be well-guided decisions because, of course, we're using the discernment of Tihash. And here, from the vantage point where we can see all, this is asking us to kind of like make some decisions, but with a great deal of guidance as to what we want to hang on to, what we want to remain attached to, and what we really need to let go out of our net. From seven cat, we then go into eight can. So can, the wisdom, the power. Can also representing teachers, and the ceremony of this day, on the day eight cat, can be very much a celebration of the teachers. It can be a celebration of our wisdom, the wisdom that we've gained, the wisdom that we collect. It can be also very much, when we see can and its wisdom aspect, we see it about the ability to see through illusions. Now, it's also coming from this discernment of Tihash, right? And so we're using that time in the Tihash Trecena to bring together the wholeness of our wisdom, because the eight can represent wholeness. I often see it as a bit as like a yin and yang together. We can see it also as kind of like the four sets of grandparents around the fire in each direction. And so it's coming to a whole. It's using the wholeness of our wisdom to understand how to bring the healing. We can also understand it as empowerment. Okay, and so this is a ceremony to make a day of ceremony for the empowerment through wisdom and the understanding of how to take our healing process through that wisdom. From 8 can, we're then going into 9 Kame. Interesting day in that we have 9, the number of life, and Kame, the Nawal of death, in the same day. And so very much seeing this cycle, this balance of life and death going on. We can also see it as Kame representing the ancestors and 9 representing the feminine. And so this could be a day to be appreciating your female ancestors, particularly the ones which might be in spirit, and asking for a message from them to help with your healing, to use your discernment to move through that. Now, Kame is also about facing our fears. It's about looking at things and, again, going through things that maybe we didn't want to go through. Maybe we would have, if we had really thought that we had a choice, we'd have probably chosen a different way. But here we are, we're on the path. We've got our big demon in front of us, and it's up to us to confront it and go through it. Because Kame is also about transformation. That's what happens when we face our fears. So we might find our fears coming up, and they might be life fears. So it might be actually really quite a big process, a big day on 9 Kame. It's like, okay, facing the fears that we hold in life in order to transform and heal. From 9 Kame, we're then going into 10 Kiach. So Kiach, the wilderness. Kiach, the mountain, the trees. Kiach, the deer, also the sign of the spiritual leader, coupled with the number 10, representing community, representing cooperation. Part of this could be taking a hike in the jungle with your friends, or the woods, or the mountains, or wherever it is that you live. This is kind of like get out into the wilderness with a bunch of friends, because this is kind of like, basically walking hand in hand through the wilderness. It would be a great thing to do to receive the guidance, the blessings of Kech. But Kech also represents a spiritual leader. And here we see with the number of community, this is kind of like where we all are. You know, we're all acting as counselors for each other. We're all looking after each other. We're all looking out for each other. We're all helping to use our discernment for the growth of the community. And this could be very much associated with Ten Kech as well. Now, Kech can be stubborn. Kech can be very strong. And with that in mind, we can see how we can share this strength amongst the community to lead and to take the community as a whole with us to a higher place as we go forward. So it's a great day to be working with other people in your community, to be exchanging, to be understanding each other, to act as a spiritual leader, spiritual guide for each other as you go forwards. And what better place to do that than a walk in the woods? From 10 Kech, we're then going to go into 11 Anil. So Anil being the yellow one, the goldenness, the ripening, about bringing things to, well, they're ripening, they're full abundance. And here with the number 11, now this might be kind of, well, a very powerful day. The 11 doesn't always know exactly where it's going. It doesn't exactly know what it's supposed to be doing there. It just knows that it needs to go there. Okay? And so this is a day to be kind of open to synchronicities, to be open to what comes to you, to be understanding how there are many, many different experiences which are going to bring about your ripeness which is occurring through your healing. And so, sometimes it might not make sense. We don't know which direction we're supposed to be going in. Well, we got an idea that we're going to go that way, so just follow it that way. Maybe you'll find your abundance there. Maybe you'll find your ripening there. So, Anil, we also connect with the plants. We connect with the gardens, the home gardens, the fields, the farms, the plants, herbalism, all of those kind of things. And so this might be, you might find yourself working with many different plants on that day in order to bring them and yourself to ripeness. From 11 Anil, we're then going into 12 Toch. Okay, so Toch is about giving back. Toch is about making your payment, making your donation. Maybe it's a great day to be making a donation to someone like Odim, who are doing their work here in Guatemala, looking after the people through education and health. And what we see it here with is the number 12. So the number 12 representing all of life's experiences. So this is kind of like making a payment for life experiences. It could also be paying off a life debt. Now, what better form of healing can happen? What better form of clearing and purification can happen than release of a life debt? And this is the prime opportunity to do it on 12 Toch. So whether you are making your offering with candles, whether you are making an offering with a fire, whether you are making an offering through a donation or whatever, 12 Toch is a day to consider that this may be really releasing something that you've been carrying around for longer than you really care to. And from 12 Toch, we finally end up in 13 Tz'i. So 13 Tz'i is a very powerful day, of course. The number 13 representing spirit, representing the other world, representing the ancestors. And here we have it coupled with Tz'i, faith, loyalty, guidance. Okay, this is a great day to be getting guidance from the ancestors. It's a great day to have your faith in your ancestral path, your faith in spirit. It's what it's all about. And so, it's kind of like, of course, things come up to test our faith. One of the other sides of Tz'i is that of the vices. And sometimes maybe it's our greatest vice that comes along on 13 Tz'i to say you really committed to releasing this. Tihash might be very much about letting go of a vice in order to purify, in order to heal. And 13 Tz'i might bring it kind of like right into your face with the force of spirit, as it were, and say, Yeah, you ready for this? Can you do it? Have you got faith? Are you going to be loyal to your healing, or are you going to return to your vices? So that's certainly a way that 13Z could be looked at. Now, 13Z is also seen, from what I understand, as one of the days of the Earth Lord, the Rilakman. And so this again talks about, the bounty that comes from the earth, but also the vices that come from the earth. And so 13Z might be a day when you might need to rein in a little bit, because it could be that there is a lot of temptation around, and it's almost like that's so strong, that temptation. It's almost kind of like you might feel that spirit is pushing you in a direction which is towards the temptations that you've been trying to get away from, where it might just be actually a test to see how committed you are to that healing process. Okay, so that is the Trecena of Tijax. Thanks very much for watching, and I'll be back again in 13 days' time from a very, very special location to talk to you about the Trecena of Bats. Thank you.